People in the valley still talk about a statue that seems alive. When the first light of morning touches its face, they say the stone breathes. Most call it a miracle, but only one man knew what really happened. Years ago, in that same valley, lived a young sculptor named Kian. He dreamed of creating something amazing, something that would make people feel alive when they saw it. But dreaming was all he did. Every day, he said, "I'll start tomorrow." And tomorrow kept coming, but the marble stayed untouched. He watched other artists, read inspiring stories, and waited for the perfect moment. He told himself he just needed more motivation. But days turned into months, and nothing changed. One evening, while sitting by the river feeling lost, Kian met an old traveler named Elder Rami. The man had kind eyes and spoke slowly, like someone who had learned many lessons the hard way. Rami looked at the uncut stone in Kian's workshop and said, "You keep waiting for lightning to strike, don't you?" Kian nodded quietly. "Lightning looks powerful," Rami said, "but it lasts only a moment. What you really need is the sunrise. It shows up every single day." Kian frowned. "How do I find that?" Rami smiled. "Come meet me tomorrow before sunrise. I'll show you." The next morning, fog covered the hills. Rami was already at the bridge, throwing small stones into the river. Kian asked, "Why are you doing that?" Rami replied, "Every stone makes ripples. Some big, some small, but all of them change the water in some way. Effort is the same. Even when you can't see results, something is still moving." Then he pointed toward the mountains. "Come on, let's climb." By the time they reached the top, Kian was out of breath. There, growing out of a crack in the rock, stood a single tree. Rami said, "This tree shouldn't even be here." Storms tried to break it. The sun tried to burn it. But every year, it grew stronger because its roots went deeper. That's what discipline looks like. He looked straight at Kian. Motivation is like thunder. It's loud but fades fast. Discipline is like the rain. It keeps coming back. Those words stayed in Kian's mind all day. That night, he stood in front of his marble block again. The doubts were still there, but he picked up the chisel anyway. The first strike felt strange, but something inside him woke up. The next day, he worked again. Then again. Some days he felt proud. Some days he felt tired, but he kept going. Weeks turned into months. The villagers laughed and said, "That boy is wasting his time, carving at nothing." But Kian ignored them. He remembered the river, the tree, and the sunrise. Winter came. The workshop was cold, his hands hurt, and the stone looked the same. Still, he worked. One night, a traveler passing through saw him carving under a lantern. "Who made this?" the man asked, amazed by the half-shaped statue. Kian smiled. "I'm still making it." Years went by. Rami visited every once in a while, always smiling quietly when he saw Kian still at work. "Don't stop," Rami said. "Even when success comes, keep your routine. Comfort is the biggest trap." And then one morning, after many years, the statue was finally finished. When the first light of the day touched it, people gasped. It looked alive, its eyes calm, its face peaceful, almost breathing. They called it the soul of stone. People came from far away to see it. They asked Kian, "What inspired you to make this?" He laughed softly. "Not inspiration, discipline." He told them about Elder Rami, the pebbles in the river, and the tree that grew from stone. "Every day, I hit this marble once, twice, 100 times. Most days no one saw, but every strike mattered. Together they made this." He placed his hand on the statue and said quietly, "This stone taught me something. Don't wait to feel ready. Just begin." The crowd stood silent, watching as the sunrise hit the statue's face. For a second, it really looked like the stone was breathing. But the real miracle wasn't the statue. It was the man who stopped waiting for lightning and learned to become the sunrise. So if you're waiting for the right moment to start your dream, stop waiting. You don't need more motivation. You just need to begin and keep showing up, even when it's hard. Because greatness doesn't come from doing something once. It comes from doing something small, again and again, until it changes everything. If this story touched your heart, give it a like and share it with someone who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe to Voices of Wisdom for more stories that remind you discipline builds miracles, one day at a time.